I'm Howard Scott, and I've been asked the question, what does it mean to be human in the digital age? Dr. Frankenstein reanimated dead tissues sewn together rather like patchwork, but this creature learned to read, to speak, and to interact with others, feeling inferior only due to the reactions he received from beautiful people, the natural-born people possessing no scars. Was this creature human? Someone would argue that the creature had no soul since he was not created by a god. If so, I would like to point out that it is the creature, not the doctor, who is arguably immortal at the end of the story, never aging, but always alone, a very human feeling. So what does make us human? If it is a soul, then humanity must be measured by the changing and often contradictory subjective licenses of the religious establishments. By those standards, some people have no souls, some do. Animals have spirits, and no, they don't. Some spirits are reborn time and time again until they get life right. Others simply go to their respective places in heaven and hell. I don't think it is the soul that makes us human, because there is no evidence of a soul. There are good people and bad people. Are the bad people any less human in this sense than the good people? Certainly we can agree that Adolf Hitler did some very bad things, killing off 6 million Jews in his attempt at genocide. Stalin did similar work with his own people. Inhumanities done to people are atrocious acts, but does that change the humanity of the person? I don't believe so, because they're still human. So what is it? What is humanity? If you were to glance around my home, you would see quite a number of skulls, both animal and human, some of them real, some of them reproductions. This has nothing to do with any dark religious sect of skull worshipping. Instead, it follows this thinking. I do not know even if I have a soul, much less where it is, but I know where my thoughts and my creativity come from, and that is my brain, surrounded and protected by this bony mass of a skull. It's not worship, but respect for the skull, which brings me to my real point. Humanity is the ability to be both creative enough to make things other than by natural reproductive methods, and to have the forethought to decide if the making of this thing is the right thing to do. In this respect, we are probably more human than any other creature on the planet, though there are others who create, who use tools, and some who might even have the ability to determine between right and wrong. And we are more human than all machines, and there's the rub. Once you enter the digital age, you have to start comparing machines to humans, and vice versa. So let's look at it that way. A whole human is a human. 2 arms, 2 legs, head, torso, all internal organs working perfectly. Mathematically, 1 human equals 1 human. But what about a human missing a leg through accident, defect, or some other tragedy? Is that man only 5/6 human? Is a quadriplegic only 1/3 human? Well, of course not. A human, regardless of debilitation, still counts as one whole human. Now we give that man an artificial limb, a smart leg, that allows him to walk and run and jump exactly as he used to. Is he now more than human? Less human? The quadriplegic has 4 new limbs, all stronger than his original, controlled by his own thoughts, allowing him to do even more than he could before receiving them. Again, less human, more human, or superhuman. The next step, of course, is taking human consciousness from Stephen Hawking and putting it into a robotic shell. It would have all of Hawking's knowledge, education, and moral switches, but would it still be Stephen Hawking? By my rather cavalier definition, then, yes, the consciousness in a robotic body preferring the name Stephen Hawking is wholly human. And I don't think anyone, say perhaps Hawking himself, would argue with the necessity of the procedure. What we're scared of is this kind of technology being easily accessible to just anyone. It has to go to good people, and lists will be made and none of them will match. Our fears will overcome the priorities, and for a long time, we'll live with real people who are little more than human torsos standing and working with artificial robotic limbs, before we ever realize that, just like with life, we cannot pick and choose who gets born or reborn into metal skin. There have been so many science fiction novels and movies written and produced to count. Frankenstein is just one. Asimov's robot series, including I, Robot, Terminator, Star Wars, even Doctor Who, all point in different directions when it comes to robotic enhancements. What if it breaks? What if it goes crazy? What if it becomes another Hitler or a Dalek or a Cyberman? Well, then sadly we will do to it what we humans have always done. We will kill it. And maybe that is the true meaning of being human. The only animal who kills for no other reason than to do so. Thank you.